Hi everybody, MichaelBtheGameGenie here, and today we're going to be talking about Arcade1Up Tron. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a very fun conversation because we're talking about quality assurance issues. That's right, broken flight sticks, triggers not working, and replacement parts nowhere to be found. Anyways, we'll talk about all of this and more right after this. So as you guys know, I've been talking about doing a Tron review very recently. I purchased the Arcade1Up Tron, absolutely fell in love with the game, fell in love with the cabinet. It's the premier cabinet from Arcade1Up in 2021, in my opinion. The best thing they've done since Star Wars. What an absolute winner. However, there seems to be some quality assurance issues with it popping up. I myself have experienced one where my trigger intermittently stopped working and then completely stopped working. And I had to borrow a control panel from my friend Mike Dalton, who's actually in the process of selling his cabinet, to buy more arcades, obviously. But I borrowed his control panel just to get my footage shot so I could do my review. But before I do my review, I wanted to talk about these issues because I don't really want to tarnish my review of the cabinet because it's not fair with the issues that I've experienced personally or the issues that are out there in the community. Let's talk about that in a separate video. I'll reference it in my review, but I don't want that to be the focus of my review. So let's talk about the quality assurance issues, unfortunately, with the beautiful Tron cabinet. Now, me personally, I've experienced a very slight weird issue where my trigger button on my Tron flight stick itself stopped working, and intermittently, mainly when I was on the light cycles. Basically, if I pressed up and pressed the trigger button, it would cut out, and then eventually it stopped working in other areas too. Like I wasn't able to shoot when I was on the MCP stage or when I was with the spiders, and like it just completely gave out, and I can't even use it on the menu screen. But, I've gone back and forth. I got another control panel, so I've identified it's not anything to do with my PCB. I've even played around with it and identified it's not my flight stick. So I messaged Arcade1Up support, and, they offered to send me a flight stick, but I told them that wasn't the issue. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. But the big issue with all of this is that, unfortunately, they don't have any parts right now to send out to me. So usually what would happen in this case, I would just return it to the store, but unfortunately I bought it at the Brick here in Canada, and they have a very strict 48-hour return policy. So unfortunately, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I have to rely on Arcade1Up because the Brick won't do anything to help me right now, and Arcade1Up is saying they don't have any parts. So the Brick, God bless them, did try to help me. They reached out to Arcade1Up support themselves, and Arcade1Up support said we should have parts in early January. Which I hope is true, but based on my experience with my Street Fighter II Big Blue cabinet, I don't necessarily believe that. Because you guys remember, I got Big Blue back in September, like pretty much as soon as it came out. And my PCB was messed up, where I wasn't getting any power to the marquee or the light-up deck. And I wrote Arcade1Up support, and they were like, yeah, no problem, we should have it in early October. I just got my PCB right before Christmas, so at the end of December, almost January, before I actually got the parts. So you do the math on that, that's almost 3 months. So right now, it was mid-December when I contacted Arcade1Up support. They told me early January, so maybe March I'll get parts, if you go by that. I'm hoping it's not that long, and hopefully the Brick will do something for me. But if you bought it somewhere else, maybe return it if you're experiencing similar problems. Anyways, I'm not the only one having issues, and this is what I wanted to show you guys. So if you guys take a look here on the official Arcade1Up global fan page, my buddy DJ Glass Art goes by Attorney Arcade. He's also a fellow Canadian, huge Tron fan. He posted on December 24th, Christmas Eve, what a terrible time for this to happen, but his Arcade1Up Tron flight stick actually cracked off at the base. He, basically said that maybe it was just a cheap resin or something like that, but, he's a kind of a pro player. If you take a look at his scores, he's ranked right around the top 10 on the leaderboards, so he's playing this pretty hard. But the stick actually cracked off. Now, with the original stick, this metallic base that you see right here actually goes further up in the stick, and more of the stick is covered with it for durability. But For some reason, his just cracked off. And maybe it's just a weird instance of him being rough with it or his kids being rough with it. I would say that, but until recently, Zach Grice posted in Arcade1Up Deals and Discussions, he had his stick crack off as well. So this seems to be some kind of quality assurance issue with these sticks. Yikes, right? I mean, what's happening? Are these sticks not stress tested? What's going on? I don't know, man. Like, I've gone back and forth on Arcade1Up quality assurance so many times, and I don't work for the company. I have no idea. Maybe I could ask some questions and try to get my head around the way all this works, but the impression I get is that Arcade1Up mainly designs the products, and then they rely on their third-party manufacturers to do the quality assurance on their behalf. I don't think that these cabinets are coming in and then, there's a quality assurance department here in North America. If there is, what they do is they take out maybe a representative sample of the cabinets coming from the manufacturer. Maybe it's 5, do some light testing on them, and then ship them out to consumers. I don't think that there's some kind of process where a select number of beta testers or staff from Arcade1Up receive actual cabinets and run these through the rigors before they make it to retail. I just don't think the production timelines allow for that. I'll give an example, will be Killer Instinct. Twisted Chris got his, a couple weeks ago. We've seen all the reviews and stuff like that. He's done a great job, identifying what's good with the cabinet, what's not good with the cabinet, all that stuff. But realistically, when he received his test cabinet, the port in Los Angeles received the retail products. So he was the very first person to get a beta test cabinet, but the retail products are already out in the ports ready to go to the public. So if he identifies something's wrong with the cabinet, there's no time to make any changes. It's already through production. So that'll kind of give you an idea on what the timelines here are. If there's any problems with the physical product, they can't do anything to fix it. They're all about fixing the gameplay and doing updates and stuff like that. I don't think there's any issues with that. It's just the physical cabinets, they leave themselves no time to identify this. And I don't know why it works like this. I guess it's just the production timelines, but these are kind of the results when this happens. You get these situations where maybe the sticks aren't to the level of quality they should have been. I don't know what the testing is. I might be completely wrong on this, and I hope I am, and these are just weird cases, but that sucks. And then I'll further add to that is when I first wrote Arcade1Up about my issue with my Tron cabinet, they said, yes, we'll send you a new flight stick, but we don't know when we're going to be able to ship them out. In fact, what scares me is when I had my big blue cabinet issue, support told me right away, we should get these in early October. With my Tron stick, they're not giving me a timeline. The only reason I have a timeline is because I have a contact at the Brick, and I was like, there's got to be something better you guys can do for me. Arcade1Up don't have any replacement parts. And she reached out to them upset because obviously they're selling products with, their name on the line and relying on Arcade1Up because they only have a 48-hour return policy. And there's no replacement parts, so people can't get their cabinets fixed. People are buying products from the Brick with nowhere to turn because if they're broken, they're just dead and they're so expensive. So that's the only reason I found out. So these people with their broken flight sticks now are left with no recourse for the time being. They have to wait till Arcade1Up gets their replacement parts. Now, that's not totally Arcade1Up's fault. Let's be honest here. There's problems right now with the global shipping chain. Like, we talked about Killer Instinct getting into the port. Killer Instinct got into the port back in early December, and now it's pushed back till February until maybe it will be in consumers' hands. I made a video on it coming out early, and boy, I was wrong. I mean, geez, I don't know what's going on, but there's just problems with the ports and shipping right now. So I get that Arcade1Up is having a hard time getting their parts in. I get it. This just sucks. Now, to DJ Glassheart's credit, he was ingenious enough and determined enough that he wanted to play Tron. He was having such a good time with it, and he was up so high on the leaderboard, he actually glued his stick back together. He used Crazy Glue or Gorilla Glue, one of those crazy substances, and managed to get it back together. So problem solved, right? Unfortunately, guys, no, problem not solved. So you can see 13 hours ago, DJ Glassheart posted up on the Arcade1Up Global fan page, I had to glue my flight stick together on Tron to play it while I wait for a new one. Now the trigger doesn't work only on the late cycle stage, which is odd. Do you think it's a software issue? Happy New Year. Of course, me having a similar issue, wrote back, I do have a ticket in originally. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go back to my original comment. Yikes, that's where mine started to fail eventually, completely went out. I'm guessing I need a new encoder board. So yeah, I'll give you a better understanding of what happened with my cabinet. Everything was fine. I was in love with it. I was having so much fun with the games. I bet right. I've been honest about this. I bought this cab with no prior love of Tron. I played Tron on the Legends Ultimate cabinet, and just it didn't excite me. Even with Glenn's stick on the cabinet, I just didn't feel it. But the minute I got the cabinet and the right controls and the lights and the whole experience, something changed, and I just started really, really enjoying the game. Playing it the right way made a difference, and especially the fact that it was in such a beautiful cabinet. So I'm playing away, loving this cabinet. It's my favorite Arcade1Up I've got, probably since Star Wars came out. And then all of a sudden, on the light cycle stages, while I'm pressing up with the flight stick, or left, right, down, if I'm pressing a movement while I'm touching the flight stick, the acceleration stopped. So if you've played Tron before, you know that you have to press the trigger to accelerate your bikes. So I said, oh, okay, maybe I don't understand the game. Maybe you can't press the flight stick in a direction while you're accelerating. Maybe you just need to press at the time you turn. That's what I assumed. Eventually that stopped working, and I was like, okay, that's weird. Maybe there's something wrong with my stick. And a little while after that, the trigger stopped working in other areas. It stopped working on the spider stage, it stopped working on the MCP stage and the tank stage, and then even stopped working completely. It would come and go intermittently, and then it was gone. So I wrote Attorney Arcade, and I let him know maybe I'm having the same issue there. So maybe on top of his broken flight stick, he's having the same issue I had. Now, I got an extra control panel, and I did some testing. I think it might be the encoder board, but God only knows. It could be a combination of everything. The flight sticks seemed to work. I actually changed out the buttons on the encoder board for the back trigger button, block button in Discs of Tron, and the trigger button and the back block button didn't work. So it's not a micro switch in the trigger. It's got to be something with the encoder board. So I don't know. We'll wait to see what happens. But guys, I think the message on this is Tron is the most beautiful cabinet they've made in a long time. People telling you the game is bad, maybe it deserves a second look, because it's not just a $700 nightlight. This thing is the real deal. It's an awesome cabinet. Probably the best cabinet they've made since Star Wars. Games are very simplistic, but they have that classic arcade charm of keep you coming back for more. And with the controls, the lights, everything, it's amazing. But right now, there's issues, it seems, with the controls. The control sticks don't seem to be durable enough to stand real playing rigors from some of the more significant players. We've seen it on Star Wars too, but it took a longer while. Jennifer Yabutt, who also has a Tron cabinet, so we'll see where things go there, but eventually she destroyed her Star Wars yoke, but it took her 2 years. The fact that these guys are doing it in less than a month is a little bit concerning. I mean, obviously these aren't real arcade cabinets, they're toys, but they should be a little bit more durable than this. And of course, the issue that I'm having with the encoder board, hey, shit like this happens. Not a big deal. The problem is there's no replacement parts yet. So while I love Tron, I urge everybody that you should possibly pick one up. Keep in mind that there's no replacement parts yet. So buy it from a retailer where you're pretty sure you can return it, or wait until Arcade1Up has restocked their replacement parts until you purchase it. Just a word of warning, keep your eye out when you're buying the Tron cabinet. It's amazing, but it comes with some problems. Now, of course, these are only a couple issues so far. I haven't seen this widespread. Keep that in mind as well. It's not like this is affecting everybody. It's just I fluked into it happening to me, and I saw a couple other people do it as well. So there are issues with Tron. There's no replacement parts. Maybe wait or buy from a retailer where you can return your cabinet. Words of wisdom from this early New Year's message from Michael B. Anyways, guys, just a quick video today to tell you about my Tron experience. Now that I've got this off my chest, I can start working on my Tron review and not have this be a dark cloud over the whole review, because that's not fair to the cabinet. It's so much better than this issue I'm experiencing. Anyways, guys, that'll be coming up real soon. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm once again getting pretty close to 25,000 subscribers. If you like what you saw here, please like, comment on the video, subscribe, click the bell for notification, and as Batman says, tell your friends about me. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.